Team Spirit is a team that back in 2021 managed to claim the Aegis based on Yatora's versatility, Collapse's insane Magnus plays, most importantly Miposhka's and Mira's insane map vision that allowed the team to play the map. It is a team that relies on vision from the very beginning to the very late. Today we're going to analyze how amazed I am by Miposhka's performance in the Grand Finals.
Up and down, side to side like a roller coaster.
In the first game, Miposhka plays Treant Protector, and I would say that even though it wasn't the best performance, I was really amazed of some plays, and we're going to analyze everything. First of all, I realized that he actually managed to move at 5 minutes in on the nighttime through the gate. His safe lane, which is a Weaver, can solo sustain, and he decides to gank the gyrocopter of the Ratio. It's really important though that he gets to do that on the nighttime. Also, if we get to see something, the Watcher is actually neutral. So let's say you have something else that's not a Treant Protector, it's really important to communicate with your other support to make sure that he's gonna take the Watcher so you will not get spotted during that attempt. I love this idea, it was really beautiful. The second thing I was really amazed is how Team Spirit actually prioritized Wisdom runes, and at 640 you make to see a move with Larl to steal the enemy Wisdom. It didn't really work out, but I find it so nice to go secure the 6-minute rune, and then you can get to smoke with your mid laner and say, hey, can we just go and secure the Wisdom rune? I could use some extra power. I love this idea, and it's something I'm gonna start doing myself as well. After the laning stage, he started moving right and left. The most important thing that he did in my opinion is that he rushes Shard. Shard on Treant Protector is extremely important. If you're not a Treant player like myself, you might not know that, but there are some heroes that you really want to rush Shard. Some examples are Treant Protector, Grimstroke and Warlock, where you shouldn't wait for the Tormentor to pick up your Shard. Now, I was really amazed that on this aspect, throughout the whole game, he's literally playing ahead of his team and he's giving information. This is so crucial even in the lower ranks. For example, if you give information for quite some time, people will notice that and will start coming. Ideally, you want Treant Protector to be played mostly in the side lanes, where there are more trees and more space. As a result, it's easier to see somebody, wait until he's isolated or have a good favorable positioning and start the initiation with the ultimate. Usually as a Treant Protector, you want to play in the side lanes, not in the mid lane. In the mid lane, it's not as easy to play as Treant Protector, as usually it's gonna be warded, the lane is really small, and usually someone is just gonna shove the wave and he's gonna back off, while this is not the case in the side lanes. If you see throughout the whole Miposhka replay, you get to see that he's playing really far ahead of his team, giving information like a moving ward. That's why Shard and items like Windlace are so important, so you wanna move around the map as much as possible and you want to give information to your teammates. In the second game, we are going to see his signature Enchantress. If you're an old subscriber, you know that we have a special love for heroes like Chen and Enchantress in this channel. I was a little bit surprised in both games so far that he started with 6 tangos instead of 3 and a couple of branches. He could sip the tangos later on, but he decided to go for 6 tangos. My personal recommendation would be to have slightly more stats, for example a couple of branches, and I really struggled to understand why he didn't pick up a few stats more, so for example in this game, he could trade decently with Muerta. But I guess he won TI and I haven't won one yet, so if you guys know the answer, please type in the comments below. So level 1, he decided to go for Nature's Attendants. Why did he do that? Well, the more levels they get, the harder the lane is going to become, because Grimstroke and Muerta is a better synergy than an Enchantress in the Void. So in cases that lanes are going to become harder and harder, what you want to do is trade as much as possible with the enemy support and try to break the whole laning stage in 2 separate 1v1s. If you've seen these videos, you know what I'm talking about. Later in the laning stage, he ends up dying a couple of times due to the enormous burst of Muerta and Wraith King. A small suggestion here would be to start playing more on the jungle side and try to isolate Muerta again, similar to what he did on level 1. I think that if he had a little bit more stats and he were to play more on the jungle side, he wouldn't die that much. On the 8th minute mark, I was really surprised overall by team spirit. It's something I noticed a lot in their team. What they do is at 6 or 8 minutes in, they get to rotate both of the supports in the mid lane. They try to secure the rune for the mid lane, and they try to pressure the enemy mid laner and take the tower. As a result, they want to open up the map and then place, as usual, what? Deep vision, and try to make smokes and find pickoffs. For us to do that though, it's really important that the safe laner and the off laner needs to be able to lane solo. As a result, it's really crucial to have a solid laning stage. Overall, I was really amazed by Miposhka's efficiency. What I realized that when he plays any support, he's always on the enemy jungle doing something. In the previous game, he was giving vision with Treant Protector, whereas now he plays Enchantress. He constantly pushes waves with the creeps and farms every single enemy jungle camp, denying potential farm and XP from the enemies. This is so crucial, and if you're playing carry, you know how annoying it is to go into a jungle area and all of a sudden you have no camps to farm. Also, look at this. When they're playing from behind, I love this guy's efficiency. Again, look at this. 27 minutes in, they actually lost Roshan. Instead of backing off, what is he doing? He's going to place deep vision on 27 minutes in, and then what does he do? He farms the jungle camps and he actually tries to push the mid lane. Why does he do that? They just lost the Aegis, so he tries to postpone the game until the Aegis expires. How do we do that? Split push. It's so important to split push and in reality delay the enemies by having to deal with the creep waves, with the pushed creep waves. It's so important to understand that deep vision is always useful as long as you get outside of the base. Look how he walks right outside Roshan at 27 minutes in, but doesn't really go back. He goes under smoke and plays a deep vision. This is so crucial as later on they managed to take a fight on that vision, even though it didn't really go as well, but the whole fight was actually planned on a deep vision. And then this is what I loved, and this is what he did in almost all of the games. All of a sudden he just bought a gem. I love this idea. He understands that it's all about enemies not having vision, and it's all about Collapses Magnus running over them with his signature plays and getting pickoffs again and again and again. Similar of how they won LGD back in 2021. What I also noticed overall from Team Spirit, especially in Game 2, is that they prioritized Tormentors, which I was so happy to see. It's something we really don't get to see that much, neither in pubs nor even in the pro scene. I love how they just literally managed to get every single Tormentor. Right now, they're about to fight, and to be honest, they actually focus him immediately because Enchantress is a great output hero. If you don't focus this hero, it's a complete glass cannon. As a result, he gets to die and buybacks instantly, which is something that all of the support should do. As long as you can get to buyback and teleport back to the fight, it's so important to do that. The later the game goes, the more often you should do that. Early on, you might not do that, but later on, it's so important to buy back and already be in a position to fight back once again. What I realized from Miposhka is that in all of his 3 games, he gets to have the same exact start. He starts on the offlane to body block the wave, so the creep wave is going to meet under the enemy tower. As a result, it's going to bounce back and all of a sudden Collapse is having a whole lane under the offlane tower. Why doesn't Collapse do that on his own? It's pretty simple, because he needs some extra assist in case people focus him. As a result, Miposhka is there to assist him in case something goes wrong. Look at this positioning on Miposhka. You know that if you've seen this video, the level 2 power spike is so important. And what they did is they managed to get level 2 before Ace and Tofu in this lane. Look at his positioning, it's so crucial. He's positioning himself in a way that enemies might not see him, and they want to force the initiative while enemies are still level 1. It's a beautiful play, it didn't really work out, but you can tell that this guy knows what he's doing. We're in the mid game, and look once again how he places deep vision. I love this observer so much. This time they have a Spirit Breaker. It is so crucial to have this early wards, especially when you have a Spirit Breaker. They understand that the way to win the game is to actually shut down Spec early on. But where is a Spec going to farm? She's not going to farm in the lane creeps because Spirit Breaker is going to see her and he's going to charge. She can't really get to farm on the ancients. Why? Well, she's so weak. So what's left? What's left is actually this area. Actually, Dirachi was really smart and he didn't really farm there. He was actually super active in this game, but it actually shows that Miposhka had the correct idea to shut him down on the only place he can actually get to farm, quote unquote, safe. It's really beautiful and I loved it. Game 3 overall looked rough. Look his ward placement once again while his team takes an unfavorable fight. Allow me to say that at this point I felt that he overdid it and he got caught. Even legends get to die in the end. But look how much vision he got to place on the bottom side of the map, and then look how this guy is a complete psycho. Look how he actually walks between tier 1 and tier 2 to place even more deep vision because he knows Dirachi is going to farm there. It's insane how much this team prioritized vision even at the expense of him dying. It shows once again how crucial vision is. Right now the game looks even harder. For example, let's see once again how deep vision is so important. Look at this ward. Miposhka in collapse just stays there and all of a sudden they get to pick up Muerta. A few seconds later what happens is that Gaming Gladiators takes a 4v5 fight near tier 2. If they were to have Tofu there, they would actually do way better. But all of a sudden Tofu is dead, but the time between the two events are so small. As a result, Gaming Gladiators get to fight an uneven fight and they get to throw all their advantage there. Once again, look how they always fight around vision at 32 minutes in. It's insane how such a simple item can get abused so hard and change the whole dynamic of the game. Even myself, I'm actually so surprised that I'm going to prioritize from now on deep vision and vision that you cannot get to spot so much from now on. And I'm gonna call this move the Miposhka move. He picks up a gem at 33 minutes in. As a result, he's going to try to deward all the enemy vision, and while enemies are going to be blind, they're always gonna take favorable fight. I'm actually surprised how much they abuse vision and they played around that. At their last fight, I have nothing to say. Flawless positioning, dewarding before the fight, placed an observer during the fight, and the rest are history. In this TI run, I was actually not only surprised by Miposhka's performance, but also by Tofu's outstanding performance throughout the whole tournament. But Team Spirit, a well-deserved victory. They were almost flawless, and in my opinion, it was due to Miposhka's insane performance and vision that allowed the whole team that got into the grand finals and actually managed to come back in some of the games. To be honest, none of the games were easy for Team Spirit. Gaming Gladiators actually gave a pretty rough time on them, but it was insane to see ward placement changing the outcome of TI finals. Really nicely played on Team Spirit and a well-deserved win. If you want to see an analysis on Tofu, you can type down in the comments below. This guy I think is a beast and I'm more than happy to actually create a video on him. GG, Raza, and I'll see you on the next video. Hey guys, real quick, if you did like this video, make sure you subscribe, like and comment as it motivates us a lot to keep making these videos and these guides. And of course, make sure you check out our 6-month coaching program. It's almost guaranteed. That's gonna get you to the next metal, if not metals. The link is gonna be down in the descriptions. Make sure you click it and apply right now.